What up, y'all? Looks like there's 2 people in here right now. Hold up, 4 people. Hold on just a moment while I send this link out and shit over Twitter and whatnot, which I don't know how to do because I've never done this before. Can everyone hear me all right over the mic? Drop some shit in the chat to say if you can hear me. That would be helpful. How the frick do I... There we go. There we go. What up, y'all? Thanks for tuning the fuck in. After I share this link out on social media, I'm sure this shit will get cracking. All right. Seven people. What up, y'all? Yes, good stuff. I should have put like a fat graphic up and some hold music just to say, hold on while I get shit ready. It's fucking hard to talk and think at the same time. That has been a skill I've had to develop by doing this. That is not something that most people are born with, I don't think. I'm sharing links and fucking thinking, talking at the same time. Give me a minute. At least the shit started on time. That's a lot better than fucking psychopathic TV can do half the time. Let's see here. Nine people, pretty good. That's 9 more people than ever used to care about my opinions on shit before I started podcasting. So that sounds fucking awesome to me. All right. Links are shared on Facebook and Twitter. It's the first time, so expect some glitches and shit like this one. Let me go get a cup of water. Hold on about 30 seconds. All right. Yeah, I do need a background. Evil Ed. Looking in the chat here. Let's see what people have to say, if anything, right now. Tales from the Lotus podcast says it's hard to talk and send the links around. I always have a hard time doing that shit. Yeah, it's true. Beneath the Dirt, Rome Bone says, what up? Yes, that's the shit. All right. Kane Bryant jumping in there right away with what do y'all think about Tech Nine's Nina collection? That's a good question. I'll get into that type of shit here in a bit. I guess I should explain what's going on here. So, I've been doing the podcast for a few years, actually. Really only started picking up steam with it seriously within the last few months, really. And getting a lot of good traction. Sometimes I'll do other people's shows and I'll just talk and talk and talk and talk. Tales from the Lotus podcast knows that. Beneath the Dirt knows that. Chuck Reeves knows that. So, with all this talking and shit, figured I should just start hosting the streams myself. Then I won't have to wait to be on other people's shows. So, I don't know how much of an introduction is necessary here because you probably already know who I am. So fuck it. Let's just talk some Juggalo shit. Drop questions in the chat, topics, whatever you want to hear me talk about. I can usually muster up an opinion on something. So we'll figure it out. And right away, people are asking about Kane Bryant asked about Nina Collection. Kind of a weird way to do it. I get it. I actually talked about this with Chuck Reeves a little bit when I did his show, and he was saying that it was a good idea to put out the songs, like really milk every single for what it's worth. I guess logistically it probably makes sense. In this age of getting more streams and shit, it's like, why not double dip on everything? If you can just put out one song at a time and get everybody clicking on each one as they come out, then more power to you. But for me, like an older gentleman, a 33-year-old man, old school music listener and lover, like a lot of juggalos are, it almost makes the release of the album seem kind of underwhelming. Like by the time the album comes out now, it's like, well, now I've heard all the damn songs. Not to mention, like, I don't even like it when just like release after release after release is coming out, song after song after song. Every damn day I turn on Twitter and Facebook and everywhere I go, new songs dropping all the time from all my favorite artists. It's impossible to keep up. For me, a old and lazy, perhaps a little bit stupid man, I would rather they just wait until they have the full album and then put that shit out. It's easier to digest for me. Listen to all the songs out at once, I say, but I'm sure to Chuck Reeves' credit, he's probably right as far as like strategy goes. It's probably the thing to do. I did mention at the time while doing that show that like that would be a god awful way to release an ICP album. Can you fucking imagine a Joker's card coming out like 2 songs at a time until half the album has come out and then the Joker's card gets dropped? That would be not good for that type of thing. So it really just kind of depends on what you're going for. Obviously, Tech Nine knows what the fuck he's doing when it comes to business shit. So I guess we'll see how it pays off. So that's a good question. Thanks for the topic on that, Kane. It's impossible for me to read and talk at the same time, so I don't know if anyone else has said anything. All right. Well, some big news came out the day, what was it? Thursday. So that's 2 days ago. On the Juggalo show, the Gathering Spectacular. That was fascinating. Jump Steady and Keegan and Glow was there. She didn't really chime in, but Rude Boy, of course, was off with ICP at South by Southwest, which looks fucking awesome, by the way. We can talk about that a little bit later as well. But the interesting thing they talked about on the Juggalo show, I thought, when it comes to the Gathering, was all those pavilions all over the map. See, when the map was released, it was there. I'm trying to read and talk and think at the same time. It's tough when you throw reading into the mix. Yeah. So the Gathering map came out and it had all these like pavilions all over it. There's like a dozen of them, and I don't even know what pavilion is. I had to Google the word when the map came out, and they're spread out all over the Gathering grounds, and nobody really knew what they were for. As it turns out, they'll be renting those pavilions out for the Gathering at a price from $250 to $500, depending on how good of a pavilion it is that you're getting, because some of them are like better locations, closer to the stage and whatnot. Some of them are kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Some are bigger, some are smaller. So the Jump Steady said that some of them actually have power, but they're not saying which are which until they're already sold. So that's a trick they can only pull off once. The pavilions, some of them have power, some of them don't. So they're advertising all of them as having no power. And then that way, if you don't have power, you can't complain. But if we have a Gathering at this location ever again, then of course everybody's going to know which ones have power and which don't. But for this time around, it seems like a good system. And I think that's going to be the thing that changes the game of the whole fucking Gathering. Like, can you imagine? And it's good. This is the direction we should be going, I think, for the Gathering. Letting the Juggalos take control of it more and more. Put it in your hands. And then you really can't bitch if it sucked because it's like, well, you could have fucking bought a pavilion and thrown your own damn party and, done it your way. But Juggalos are going to be buying up those pavilions and pimping them the fuck out. That's going to be the next level shit. I guarantee when Jump Steady said that those pavilions are going to be up for sale, that day ninjas were probably planning on what they're going to do. They were already making sure that they were going to get one and fucking keep that shit lit for the whole gathering. I'm talking like the crews for the most part, all those Juggalo crews that we all see all the time, Reno Riders, Yacht Club, dudes like that are probably the types of people that are like, well, fuck, because they throw parties, late night parties and tents anyway. So they're probably like, well, fuck, let's just buy a pavilion and party that shit out the whole damn time. If I were them, that's what I would be thinking. I'm obviously just one man Murder Mayhem show, so I will not be planning for a 4-day pavilion party myself. Maybe I'll attend some pavilion parties, but yeah, I think that shit will take everything next level. You know how fucking crazy Juggalos are. They're gonna they're gonna have some crazy shit planned. There's gonna be parties popping off at those pavilions around the clock. Probably performances, who the fuck knows, all the time. So that's good. More and more in the Juggalos' hands, I say. I mean, fuck, I would like to see like a Fago Lovers pavilion. Fuck, CPN should make a podcast pavilion. Who the opportunities are endless. So I think this gathering is going to be especially lit for that reason alone. Some other things he said caught my attention, and now I can't remember what I was going to say about them. So, oh well. Point is, gathering sounds awesome. There's also an extra stage that they said they didn't know what they were going to do with. So if anyone has any ideas for what to do with that little stage that's way out of the way, they can get in touch with Psychopath. They can put something together there. I remembered what I was just going to say. Let me jump in to read some of the chat here. Party Masters, there is no super chat because I'm not eligible yet. I need 1,000 YouTube subscribers to be eligible for monetization. So I appreciate asking about super chats, and I would love to get that going at some point, but I cannot right now until I am eligible. What else are people saying? Beneath the Dirt says he's waiting for the full album to drop. He's talking about the Nina collections. Evil Ed says can't wait for the FFF tour. Fuck yeah. That'll be the shit. Mac Lethal, Ritz, for fuck's sakes, and recently just added Ouija Mac and DJ fucking Paul. My God. Fury Tour and Mushroom Head. So I always I don't really think about Mushroom Head because I'm not really a Mushroom Head mark like that compared to those other dudes. So fuck, man. Yeah, those are four of my favorites. Ritz, Mac Lethal, DJ Paul, and Ouija Mac. That shit will be hard as fuck. And I hope ICP does at least I'm going to say at least 4, but hopefully like 5 or 6 songs off of Fury or Fred Fury. That would be the shit, especially the song Fury. I would love to see that one live. And the CD seems like a big hit and it's very high energy. So I'm sure people would love to see some of those Fred Fury tracks perform live. Thank you for that comment. Necessary Evil asks, what do you think about magic spells? I think magic sucks, but hey, that's okay. It's all good. Not every song has to be good to everybody. So I'm not going to get on here and say that Twisted is trash because they put out a song that I don't like. But if you're asking my opinion, which you did, magic spells, it's that type of Twisted shit that I don't fuck with at all and never really have been able to. And see, here's this thing about like people are saying that this is some of the people that are really like hating on the song and hating on Twisted. They're using the argument of like Twisted sold out to a mainstream sound, but it's like that's not a mainstream sound at all. Maybe it was in like 1998. This is if anything, this is just getting more and more niche, if you ask me. I mean, the mainstream shit now is like the rainbow hair and the mumble bullshit or whatever. If Twisted started doing that, then that would be one thing. But Twisted's been making rock songs for pretty much their entire career as Twisted. Only, if you ask me, some of them used to be really good. Like on Freak Show, there's some really good rock songs. Mirror Mirror has good rock songs. But yeah, once you start getting into like Man's Myth and Mutant a little bit and some of the later on stuff, yeah, I can't really fuck with some of that shit. So Magic Spells, not for me. Still looking forward to the full album for sure. But Magic Spells is probably I'm still excited for the whole album, but I feel like maybe it's not going to be the album that I was waiting for. So my expectations are tempered based on that song. Thanks for the comment. What is else going on in the chat? Speak of Clout podcast asked favorite Riders album, and that would be Dumpin'. So thank you for that question. Asked and answered. Dumpin'. What else are they talking? Necessary Evil asks if I like Guar. I do like Guar. I respect them, especially as performers, the whole thing, the whole performance art of it all. I wouldn't say that I'm a Guar like diehard. See it. It's always annoying when someone like professes to be a fan of something, but they couldn't name you like much of the music. So I try not to be that guy. I just tell you flat out, I don't know a ton of their music, but I appreciate everything that they are and that they stand for and their show. I'd always wanted to see them live, and I never did until the Gathering. I think that was last year. So sadly, that was the post Odorous Orungus era, but it still fucking rocked the house. I've been knowing about Guar ever since Beavis and Butthead back in the fucking day, back when I was probably like 9 years old or some shit. Beavis and Butthead were big fans of Guar, and at that age, very impressionable. I always figured that whatever Beavis and Butthead liked must have been pretty cool. And they're right, because Guar rocks. Yeah, I've looked into a little bit of their lore and stuff, but I'm not really a big metal fan in general. So what are you going to do? What else we talking here? Skeletor says, I'm a Twizzler and I love Chuck Reeves. Shout out to Skeletor. I see you. What else is going on, man? A lot of people are talking. Beneath the Dirt says, how about that Supervillains hit list album? And then he dropped 3 fire emojis. The joke, of course, being that in the Fearless Fred Fury booklet, there's a bunch of future release dates for shit. And I said on my podcast after Fred Fury came out and I looked through the booklet, I said, why are we announcing a bunch of new projects when there's already a backlog of projects that haven't come out? And one of the projects they announced was Supervillains hit list, which I assume is greatest hits. And the release date on that was March 15th. And obviously it's fucking March 16th and nobody's heard a goddamn thing about that. So once again, I wish Psychopathic just had someone in their ear telling them that kind of stuff. Like, don't do this. Stop announcing projects until they are done. Yeah, well, here we are. I'm telling you now, Psychopathic going forward, please try to chill out on that kind of shit. That might be better saved for the Gathering anyway. If they can get some kind of supervillains, something or other together by Gathering time, that would be good. Kane Bryan asks, what do you think of King Iso? I don't know shit about King Iso. Didn't he have beef with somebody for a while? That's the fucking extent of my King Iso knowledge. Man, now I can't even fucking remember that. I just remember hearing he had beef with someone at one time, and I don't fucking know shit about him. What else we talking about? Max Rebo Mystic asks, did Lex Diamond ever rap again after Super Balls? I'm going to say no, unless you count anything on Legs Diamond and the Purple Gang as a rap. None of those tracks come to mind off the top of my head because I don't fucking listen to that album. No, I don't think he really had like a full verse after that. None that I can think of off the top of my head. That's a good trivia question, though. I'll be taking your trivia questions as well, apparently. Oh, fuck. Scruffy Recufferthrum. He says Legs is on Ninjas in Action. Too fucking Shay. God damn it. I would have just lost that trivia question. Good fucking call, Scruffy. If you are the Scruffy that I know, then good fucking call on having my back on that. Because obviously I fucked that up. Yes, Legs Diamond raps on Ninjas in Action. Touche. What else? Yeah, Max Rebo says Twisted has been doing rock shit since HOK, actually. Even better. Yeah, they've been doing that shit. What else? Silent J says ready for a new Killjoy Club. Fuck yeah, ready for a new Killjoy Club. They've been talking about new Killjoy clubs since, if I had to remember off the top of my head, I believe at the 2017 Gathering Seminar. Or nope, sorry, not 2017. What I mean is Gathering 17, one that I wasn't fucking at, the one that had Wizard of the Hood and that shit. I believe at their seminar that year they teased Killjoy Club, new Killjoy Club in the works, and then I don't know, maybe all the Young Wicked shit signing over to MNE and all that stuff. Maybe that kind of put a stick in the spokes on that. I don't know if that was the holdup or, naturally that's going to disrupt your workflow if you're gearing up to do a group album and then you have a severe falling out with one of your group members, especially someone as prominent as Young Wicked. He was singing and producing and shit on that album. So, yeah, I don't think Young Wicked was ever that necessary to Killjoy Club to begin with. So I would fucking love to see a new Killjoy Club album, even RIP without Koopsta, with ICP and DJ Paul and Crunchy Black, even just at a minimum. That would be the shit. Even if it was just those four, that would be the shit. That would be a Killjoy Club album that it would be really worth listening to on its own. Excuse me while I fiddle with knobs. Try to get a little more volume. But even if it's just those four, that would be an awesome album. But if you're so inclined, throw in a fucking Big Hoodoo or whatever. Or maybe you could even pull fucking, well, no, you couldn't. I was this close to saying maybe you could get Juicy J on that shit, but I'm sure you couldn't. I'm sure you couldn't do that. That would be the shit though. If it was ICP, Juicy J, DJ Paul, and Crunchy Black, that would be fucking the shit. Beneath the Dirt says add Ouija to Killjoy Club. I think that would be the shit. I think a lot of people wouldn't really be into it, but I think he would fit in quite well. Let me, yeah, Beneath the Dirt says add Ouija and Gangsta Boo. See, adding Gangsta Boo would be great also, but I don't know. Even though they don't have like official beef, I always seem to get the impression that DJ Paul and Gangsta Boo aren't like in a rush to be working with each other. I don't know, or you think they would be. I even asked Gangsta Boo on Twitter once if she would come play The Gathering. This was a few years ago. She said, fuck yeah, I would if I was ever invited. That was what she said on Twitter. So even that was kind of like, why would you not invite Gangsta Boo unless maybe DJ Paul had some kind of friction? I mean, I don't know. I don't want to put words in the mouth, but yeah, I would definitely be down for including Gangsta Boo and Killjoy Club. That would be the fucking shit. No doubt. Light is Homer's Radio says Light is more of a traditional rapper. I'd rather hear him with DJ Paul. I don't know if he's still talking about Killjoy, but that would be cool too, I guess. I'd rather see Ouija than Light and Killjoy because I don't know, Ouija's got more of the high energy, I guess. I mean, I guess Light does too, but yeah, I'm definitely down for a new Killjoy, whatever they want to do with it. What else are people saying? Gigi Allen says CPN fucked the Michelin Man. That sounds like speculation to me. I don't know anything about that. Danny Boy says you hear the Have-Nots are coming back without Bones dub. Yeah, didn't they do or they're going to do like a show or something? Yeah, I saw I want to say a 420 show, but my facts could be way off on that. Yeah, they yeah, doing some show, and like he said, without Bones dub. So fuck, I don't Have-Nots should fucking play at the Gathering. Psychopathic at this point should be stretching everything they have for all it's worth. After fucking how long has Psychopathic been a record label? Since 1991 or whatever the fuck. So after this long, it's like anything you haven't done before, you should really be thinking about doing that. And something that they've never done before is a Have-Nots set at the Gathering. Or I don't think. I mean, they, maybe sometimes ABK will pop out during Hoodoo set. Hoodoo will pop out during ABK set. It's never been billed as a Have-Nots show. Here's what you do to build hype for every gathering. This formula will work every single year. Put out an EP that people have been wanting to hear and support it with a show. Do a Have-Nots EP, support it with a show. People would love it. Perform new Have-Nots shit. Perform the few old Have-Nots shit that we do have. That would get people pumped, and it would take not that much work, I'm sure, to throw together an EP. Come on. So I don't know why stuff like that doesn't happen, but yeah, other than that, Have-Nots seems to be a real fucking hard time getting off the ground. What else we got here? Got 24 listeners, watchers in the show. That's good. Appreciate you. This is a long one. Let me wrap my head around it. Homer's Radio says, after hearing FFF, I was thinking, was it worth sacrificing Dark Lotus to get Young Wicked off Joker's cards? And after listening to Marvelous Missing Link compared to FFF, yes, it was. Oh, man. I'm not going to fucking argue with that. I didn't know where that was going when I started reading that, so I was kind of delighted by the direction that took because that's a pretty deep question because I sincerely didn't want Young Wicked singing all over those Joker's cards anymore either. So that's a funny comment. I'm really glad that he's not fucking singing all over FFF too. That would have fucked up some of the songs, if you ask me. Speak Your Clout podcast as favorite Lotus album. That would be the original Tales from the Lotus podcast. Or, sorry, fucking Tales from the Lotus pod. The original Tales from the Lotus pod with Mars on it. That is the best Lotus album, if you ask me. The ABK version is an abomination, not because of ABK. His verses are really good on it. So anytime I talk about that, I have to say it's not because of ABK. It's not like he ruined it. It's just because it's such a sloppy production. You can still hear Mars on some of the backing tracks. They didn't even put ABK on all the songs. They just cut off Mars and said, fuck it. ABK does not sound mixed with the rest of the group. So yeah, they should have, and it pains me that every time they re-release Dark Lotus or whatever, every version of it that's out there, the vinyls, and I'm not sure if it's streaming, but the vinyl I think has the ABK version. Every time they perform it, it's the ABK version, and it's like, okay, this is nothing against ABK whatsoever. It's just should have just left the album like it was. ABK is great on Black Rain, an album where he was actually meant to be on it. it sounds really good. So definitely not hating on ABK being in the group. It's just that Lotus Pod re-release. It's one of my most cringiest psychopathic albums, in my opinion. Good question. Love talking Lotus. And if you ask me, all the Lotus albums go on a decline as they came out. So take that as you will. I would definitely bump any of them on a desert island compared to Taylor Swift or something. But yeah, progressively on a downhill slope, if you ask me. Beneath the Dirt says, haven't heard any Have Not stuff. Is it good? Yeah, it is good. They have a song, I think it's called like, it's the one that's like, I want to, we're going to rock, we're going to roll. I don't know what it's called. Search Have Nots Rock Roll. You might find it if that's what it's called. And I believe Have Nots is spelled with a K as well. So make sure you type that correctly. What else? Speaky Clout says can't fuck with the Gold Cross at all, and I love Killa, but that OG is a masterpiece. Pretty much what I just said. So thanks for that, for the agreements. Silent J, it says it's say what you will of me, not until eternity. I know it always hits my ear wrong. Until eternity. And that is one where I got to put a little bit of the blame on Killa because I don't think he said that very good. Does not sound very good. So it's just like, man, you took a perfect 10 out of 10 song and you fucking mixed it up with some shit that I can't get with. I'm bad at getting out of a sentence once I decide halfway through that. Yeah. What else? Ooh, Scruffy says mud, water, air, and blood is the pinnacle of Lotus. That is in a direct contradiction to what I just said because I think that is for sure the weakest of all the Lodi. But what are you going to do? It's good that something that I don't like is something that other people like. As long as somebody likes something, it's all good. Party Masters asked what microphone I'm using, and I have no idea. Nor can I find a brand on it. Might be underneath the. It's not. Brooklyn says it's a Shure. If it is a Shure, then it's definitely the lowest of the low end of Shures. Because all I remember about it is that I spent like $12 on it, so it looks nice, but it's not. So if it is a Shure, then it's like the whatever the bargain bin version of Shure is. Max Rebo says Mud, Water, Air, and Blood is my favorite after OG Mars Tales from Lotus Pod. That shit is dope. Fair enough. So, what else is crack-a-lacking? This fucking Yellow Wolf beef with all the white rappers. I don't know if you guys catch up with Yellow Wolf at all. I'm a big fan. I've been a big fan of Yellow Wolf ever since I think I think it was post Interscope pre Shady is when I got into Yellow Wolf because the earliest that I remember him having was the Trunk Music 0 to 60 album, and I believe it was like the so he had some music videos off that album. What Pop the Trunk? Yeah, that's the one. That's the fucking shit. So I've been a big Yellow Wolf fan for a long time, and he's fucking putting out a lot of videos and shit to promote his new album, Trunk Music 3, which Beneath the Dirt in the chat says Trunk Music 3 is going to be dope. I hope so. I have hopes for it. I think he's going to be back on it in a big way because Trunk Music, the first one, is awesome. I don't really remember the second one. And then some of the albums he's put out in between are like get a little bit too country, but Yellow Wolf is still the shit, and I'm looking forward to the Trunk Music 3 for sure. So, in promoting the Trunk Music 3, he's been putting out a bunch of videos. He's calling them freestyles, but in one of the freestyle videos, it shows him in the studio like looking at his phone. So it's like I don't know what the word freestyle means anymore. This is a digression. I'm not picking on Yellow Wolf. It's just a sidebar because it did happen in his video. It says, I think it's the Bloody Sunday freestyle. Well, it might not be that one. No, that's the newest one where he fucking disses Post Malone and shit. On one of those freestyles, he's in the studio and he's looking at his phone while he's rapping. It's like, are you just fucking checking texts while you rap, or is this not a freestyle at all? Because I see that word just thrown around all the time. But I digress. He's been putting out videos to promote the Trunk Music 3, and on the newest one, his shit just cracks me up because he's going after all the white rappers. I don't know, these white rappers are losing control lately. He goes after G-Eazy. They've been having a beef for a while though. I can't even fucking remember why. It gets too fucking hard to remember with all these artists, especially in like the shady and shady adjacent crew. They're always fucking beefing with everybody. And by the way, Trunk Music 3 is the final release from Yellow Wolf that's going to be on Shady. So for whatever that's worth, that either take that as either a benefit or a bone, as you will. So the new shit just cracks me up because he goes after G-Eazy, he goes after Post Malone for no reason. He says it in the song. He's like, "Fuck it." I don't know how he says it word for word, but he's like, "I'm gonna go after Post Malone because fuck it, why not?" or whatever. And then he throws some shit at Post Malone. Post Malone responded with some kind of tongue-in-cheek response, but nothing harsh. He wasn't like, "Fuck you." He wasn't going at him. Yellow Wolf responded to that, saying that Post Malone didn't have the balls to respond. So Yellow Wolf's just wilding out for no reason, and I love it. It's very entertaining. This is different from like beef. This isn't like, I don't know. To me, this is more just like hip hop beef. This isn't like real life beef that is breaking into the music. That shit can get real stupid real quick. When you're just like wilding out for no reason, that's very entertaining to me. Because Post Malone, nothing's going to happen. No one's going to go riding on Post Malone's house at night. Post Malone's not going to send his crew after Yellow Wolf. It's just fucking around shit. And it's very entertaining to me. He mentions on the song that on Trunk Music 3, he's going to really go after fucking MGK. He dropped that teaser. So that'll be fun. Trunk Music 3, I don't know the release date off the top of my head. Beneath the Dirt probably does. He fucking knows everything like that. But definitely looking forward to that. I wanted to talk about that a little bit because it made me laugh. What are people talking about in the chat? Max Rebo says new FFF video should be West Werner Avenue. That would be a good one. I'm not sure off the top of my head what I think the best videos would be. Let me think about that. Freedom, I think, would make a good video. Game Over would be a good video if you could do the shit right. That would be pretty crazy. Fury, obviously, we already have a video for that. What the Fuck might make a good video, even though the song's kind of already played out by now. So, excuse me. And by played out, I just mean it's already been released as a single, so why release it again as a video when you could do a different song? So, yeah, West Werner Ave would be a good one. Speaky Clout says, I haven't liked Yellow Wolf since 2011. Well, that's a long fucking time ago. You didn't like his Radioactive album? He doesn't even like his Radioactive album, but I like that album. I think that's the first shady one. Yeah, before that, he was just rolling tough in the mixtapes. David Zapita says that the next FFF video should be X-rated and make it I Like It Rough or Shimmer. Wow, can you fucking imagine a video for I Like It Rough? That would be fucked, especially if it was X-rated and showed all that shit. My God, no, I don't want to see that. I would see that if it came out. I don't want to see that. People in the chat are talking about Griselda. I don't know who the fuck that is. Speaky Clout podcast says M needs to put out them Griselda boys, the illest shit on Shady since 50. I don't know who the fuck the Griselda boys are, but Beneath the Dirt gives them a bunch of flame emojis. So I trust his judgment. Big Boy Blue. That must be one of his many doppelgangers. Big Boy Blue says everyone needs to share this RT and shit, retweet and shit. MCL, MMS. Fuck yeah. Shout out to Boy Blue, a pioneer of this Juggalo YouTubing shit. He was doing that shit long before I ever saw anyone else doing it. I don't know if he was truly the first, but he was the first I ever saw doing it. Speaky Clout says, I've been fucking with Griselda since 2015. I gotta look that shit up then because I have no idea. Okay, Scruffy says beef is a huge waste of time. All beef rap battles, however, are different if you leave beef out of it. That's fair. That's pretty much what I was saying. So thanks for that comment. Darby O'Trill says, did you watch any footage from that acoustic ICP set? I did watch some from Fago Lovers. It's interesting. I didn't even watch all the videos. I watched enough until I felt like I had the gist, because watching on a cell phone, I know it wouldn't even compare anyway. So I figured I'll just wait. I'll just wait until I get to see this with my own eyes one day. And so I didn't really watch all the performances. I watched the videos of them talking a lot because I thought the talking was pretty interesting. They talked about the fifth Joker's card a little bit of this deck and mentioned that basically Brother is part of it. That was the speculation that we were all going with after hearing Fred Fury. And Violent J basically confirmed at South by Southwest that it is Brother, because he said it's not Bedlam Brothers, but it's half right. However, whatever he said, a lot of people have been guessing that it's the Bedlam Brothers because the word Bedlam comes up a few times in Fred Fury. So Violent J said it's not Bedlam Brothers, but you're half right. So that's got to be Brother. It's definitely Brother is the one to which he was referring to. And other than that, no new information really. I mean, that's the part we all figured out on our own anyway. Brother. So that is confirmed. I thought that was interesting. I also saw that Violent J dissed Young Wicked at South by Southwest. Just more stupid jokes. Whatever. I'm over it. So anytime something like that happens, it's just a bit of a cringe. There was a body bag hanging from the set because their set looked fucking awesome, by the way. I think they were wearing like scrubs covered in blood. They were in wheelchairs. Set looked like a mental facility covered in blood of some kind. That's how I remember it. Blood everywhere. Wheelchairs covered in blood and guts. Dead bodies hanging from the ceiling. Violent J pointed to one of the dead bodies and said, thanks to Young Wicked for coming out tonight. Haha. Funny stuff, I guess. Not really, but I'm just over it. Seemed to get a good reaction from the crowd, so what are you going to do? So, yeah, I did watch some of that acoustic stuff, but it didn't really sound good enough for me to continue watching the whole performance. I heard that Shaggy fucked up a lot of the lyrics, but yeah, that's not really a big deal to me. Ooh, Dackins, he says LOL. I'm not sure what he's LOLing at, but I am going to single out Dackins as the guy that got me into ICP in the first place. That was a long fucking time ago now. Almost 20 years. 1999. It was soon after Jekyll Brothers had come out, and Dackins here in the chat had picked up the Jekyll Brothers album, Let Me Hear Mad Professor, and that shit fucking changed everything. 20 years later, here we are now. What else? Max Rebo says Shimmer would be a creepy video if done right. I agree, but I kind of this generally I think the story songs shouldn't be videos. I like the story songs in my head. I like the videos to be the ones that are more like cerebral, like Satellite. That could be a good video for an upbeat one. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe something like Seriously Hilarious. That could work, but like not Night of Red Rum or yeah, just the story songs in general, I tend to think wouldn't be great videos. What else are we talking about? Scruffy says Furious was way too experimental. They could have done something more familiar to us in their sleep, but chose not to, and it didn't quite work. Furious, they're talking about the supervillains. Okay, yeah. Speaky Clout asked for thoughts on supervillains Furious, so that's why they're talking about that. Supervillains Furious. I would say, yeah, Speaky Clout says it was a letdown for him. It was a letdown for me as well because all the hype going into supervillains was not at all like that album. You had the song on the Wraith, Shangri-La, the one that's just Jay and Isham. They were calling that a supervillain song. There were a handful on Isham's Acid Rain album on Psychopathic. I believe Pow and Migraine Headache were supervillains billed as supervillains tracks. ICP or Violent J and Isham's Silence of the Hams, I believe that was being called a supervillains track. Conquer off Psychopathic Somatic Space 2, that was a supervillains track. And these were all the kinds of tracks. These were all, I think those may even be literally all of the supervillains tracks that came out before Furious. So you're expecting some shit like that. And in none of those songs do they talk about Mr. Hart, Mr. Spade, Mr. Club, Mr. Diamond. It's just ICP and Isham, and ABK is on Conquer as well, which would have been dope as well. But yeah, like adding Lavelle and putting the whole gimmick on it, it just kind of diluted it. I didn't like the gimmick. I liked it better when it was just like ruthless raps. So if they do more supervillains albums, I would like to see just ICP and Isham. I would be happy with that. So a lot of people talk about like, well, who would they replace Lavelle with? Why do you have to replace everyone? Just ICP and Isham is fine. And I don't want the gimmick either. So there's no need of like needing a new Mr. Hart. Max Rebo says the best part of Furious is Shaggy's turntable stylings. That's fair. Shaggy, that is pretty awesome, and that was something that I think a lot of people didn't like about it. They wanted to hear Shaggy rap more, but he pretty much does those turntables and hooks on every song. I could be wrong, but I think that may be during one of Shaggy's alcoholism phases. So that may be why he doesn't rap on that album so much, but don't quote me on that. Dylan Justice says Triplex was my favorite track from FFF. That song rules. It is a good one. Marissa M says, did anyone else feel like FFF was light on Shaggy verses? Maybe I'm crazy. Yeah, definitely light on Shaggy verses for sure. So that would have been nice. More Shaggy would have been good. Who was I just listening to? I think it was Tales from the Lotus podcast. and I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, but I think it was DJ Run for Cover on Tales from the Lotus podcast saying that, well, if you don't have enough Shaggy, then neither did the old school albums, like the really old ones like Carnival of Carnage and shit. So it's not really a big deal if he's not on it a lot. I respectfully disagree and say that Shaggy's the shit, and so more Shaggy's never a bad thing. I would have also liked to see more Shaggy on FFF as well, but I really think that album was like Jay's to get out of his system. That's what it really felt like. In fact, I was saying before Fred Fury came out, probably before it even had a name or anything. Yeah, because I was saying this after Fuck the Fuck Off Motherfucker came out, and that was the first time we ever heard the words Red Fred at all whatsoever. So after Fuck the Fuck Off Motherfucker came out, I said I would like to see a Joker's card that's mostly Shaggy. Because again, like I said earlier in the show, once you've been in the game this long, anytime you can come up with something you've never done before is a potential for a great idea. So we've never seen a mostly Shaggy Joker's card before. I think that would be the shit. So that's actually what I was hoping for. I mean, I don't know if that will ever happen, but that was what I thought would be cool. And instead, what I got was pretty much as far away as you can get from that, which was Fred Fury, way more Jay than Shaggy. But I think that I think that's the way it had to be this time, because Jay just had to get all that shit off of his chest. That was his to fucking put out. So it works. More Shaggy would be good, but it works the way that it is. What else? Beneath the Dirt says the triplex would be better if each of the personalities had their own verse. I believe I talked about that with him on his show recently, and I gave it some thought since then. And I don't know, I kind of like it the way it is. I think I like the way that it's rapidly changing so much. I don't know. I take his point on that though, for sure. If triplex was like one verse for personality, that would be cool too. Scruffy says migraine headache is what supervillain should have been. Agreed. Homer's Radio says Shaggy was definitely missing a lot on FFF. I think that's why they added Willoughby Rags on there late. I think so too. Good call. I haven't said that before, but that's something that was on my mind while listening to it. Max Rebo says supervillains on Shangri-La too. I said that, Max Rebo. Speaky Clout says Silence of the Hams is dope as fuck. Right. So pretty much if supervillains was just some hard-hitting ICP Esham tracks, and even look at the ICP Esham tracks that aren't supervillains. Fucking hard. Like Boom. That shit is fucking hard. What else? I mean, if you want to go real old school, we're talking Taste and Chop Chop. Those are the fucking shit. So, yeah. Beneath the Dirt says supervillains should be just ICP and Esham. Agreed. What else? Scruffy says, hi, Dackins. Thanks for helping Mitchell fall into the carnival. Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. All right. Oh, yeah. Max Rebo brought up the song Be Safe because he said there's a lot of Shaggy in it. Yeah, Flip the Rat has quite a bit more Shaggy in it. Flip the Rat probably has as much Shaggy on it as all of Fred Fury. Probably. I don't know. I haven't done that math, but he has a verse on most of those tracks, I think. So, yeah, he's on Flip the Rat a little more. I would have taken gladly the first two tracks on Shaggy's Gloomy Sunday EP. Those could have been Fred Fury tracks, if you ask me. Interestingly enough, I think the only Joker's Card CD to have, honestly, I think it's more Shaggy than Jay, is Found. It's at least equal, but I think there's actually even like more Shaggy than Jay on Found. Maybe that surprises you to hear, but think about it. What's the first track is Found. That has a Jay verse and a Shaggy verse. The next one is Get Clowned. That's a two Jay verses and two Shaggy verses, I think. The next is I Fucked a Cop. That's just Shaggy. I think the next is The World Is Yours. That's equal parts Jay and Shaggy. Man, I'm impressed that I've gotten this far off the top of my head for an album that I don't love that much. World Is Yours. Who the fuck knows? Point is, I think there's actually more Shaggy than Jay on Found, and that's the album that most people don't like that much. So take that for what it is. Darby O'Trill says Esham was originally on What too. Yes, that's an interesting trivia fact. If you didn't know that, you can find that on YouTube. That is interesting. What off Bizarre? Yeah, Esham had a verse on that at one time. Evil Ed says, "Who's your favorite MNE artist?" Twisted. Besides Twisted, Blaze. Besides Twisted and Blaze, All Azul Ilu. And that's pretty much the short list of MNE artists that I really even fuck with anymore. I Twisted and Blaze are grandfathered in. And then as far as new artists that they've picked up or people that didn't come from Psychopathic, all is All Azul Ilu. I know All Azul Ilu is not new, but you know what I mean. As far as people that they didn't pull from Psychopathic, All Azul Ilu, definitely The Almighty is the best album that MNE has put out, and indeed the best album of that whole year was 2018, I believe, last year. And on top of that is one of the best albums, period, of like the last 5 years, I would say. The Almighty. I love that album. It's really, really good. Looking forward to the new Church Azul dropping in April on the same day as the new Twisted shit. So we'll see if they can keep up the pace that they set with the Almighty. Homer's Radio says they should release that Carnival of Carnix intro Esham did on the Super Villains Greatest Hits. That would be awesome if that recording still exists. I would love to hear that. Speaking Clout Podcast says your favorite Psychopathic album. And then he says Drive By Pony Down is his. Wow, that's a very unique choice. I don't think most people would pick that as their all-time Psychopathic favorite. So you are a unique snowflake on that one. Oh, I'm sorry. Your least favorite. He says, what is your least favorite Psychopathic album? My God, that could have been a very different conversation. Says your least favorite, and he says his is Drive By Pony Down. Okay, well now this makes a little more sense. And I think that album is fine, but it makes more sense. Least favorite Psychopathic album. I always say that I like every album Psychopathic has ever put out because I can find something to enjoy in all of them, except for 3 albums. So you've touched on something here because this is something I've actually thought a lot about. I enjoy every album Psychopathic has ever put out except for 3 albums, and they are the following. Tales from the Lotus Pod with ABK. I'm glad that we already talked about that, so I've already explained why I feel that way about that one. The next one, and these are in no order, I don't think. I don't know if I could pick my least favorite of these 3, but the next one is Cold 187's The Only Solution. Not with it. All he did was take great songs and make them not as good. That's the game you're playing when you're choosing to use such classic beats as those. You can only make a worse version of the song that you lifted the beat from. Like, he does a song over the murder beat, and it's like, dude, here's a fact that we know for sure. You're not going to make a better song with this than murder. All you're going to do is make a song that's not as good. And that's how it is on every track on that album. And that's no even disrespect for him. I understand Big Hutch, legendary, Above the Law, certainly, old school, Ruthless Records, fucking Tupac shit. He's fucking he's I appreciate him. He's a great artist. That was not a good project for him, is what I'm saying. And the third, wait a minute. I got to jump in here for a second. Let me finish this thought real quick. Third song CD that I don't like on Psychopathic is Legs Diamond and the Purple Gang's Nine Pistolas. It's just crappy. I don't have any other reason being beyond that. It's just crappy. So there you have it. I'm not sure which of those three I would say I like the least. Scruffy says Lost at the Carnival, You Should Know, or TJ songs. Lost at the Carnival is Jay and Shaggy. Thank you very much. And You Should Know is on Lost. And I said Found. If you include Lost and Found, then it becomes, I think, more Violent J again, like all the other Joker's cards, if you include Lost and Found, because Lost has more J than Shaggy. But if you do just Found, then, yeah, You Should Know is on Lost. So I am dismissing both of those. Max Rebo says Worst are Pony Down, Furious, and Nine Pistolas. I think Furious is still good, by the way, even though it's not what I was wanting. It's got some bangers on it. I like So What and I Shot the DJ. And then there's some other ones that are chill. But yeah, it's certainly not one that I revisit often. Scruffy says he likes Nine Pistolas. Well, good for you. Scruffy says his least favorite is probably Broken. Don't relate to it. That is the Blase Rose EP. Not bad. Evil Ed says, did you attend the last Riddlebox and Great Malenko tours? They were both incredible. I sure did. Both of them. Riddlebox, can't remember who opened on that one. Maybe Light. Not sure what year that was off the top of my head. Great Malenko definitely had R.A. the Rugged Man opening. And I'll never forget that because that fucking rocked. Not only did that rock, he had a bunch of stage props on stage with him. R.A. did. He had a little rubber ball. He tossed it into the crowd and like flew into my hands perfectly. And then I saw him walking around after the show and had him autograph that ball. So it is sitting in my closet. A ball signed by R.A. the Rugged Man. I was at the Great Malenko show. I'm a big fan of his. I didn't just fucking catch the shit and then have him sign it just to sign it. I'm a big fucking fan. So best that it should land in my hands than somebody that didn't give a crap, because I was pumped. I love R.A. the Rugged Man, and Ouija opened at that tour as well. Is that right? No, you know what? Ouija was supposed to be on that tour, but he wasn't on that date because he missed some of the Malenko dates. So it was Light opening. I remember that well. So anyway. What else? Speaky Clout says The Almighty is a masterpiece from front to back. That's, I would agree with. Well, I don't know. Maybe that just about wraps it up. We've done an hour here. So, I mean, I could talk about this shit all day. So I don't really want to go 9 straight hours, but we've done an hour here. So I guess thanks to everybody that tuned in. I don't know. I'm going to keep going as long as people keep asking me questions. Scruffy says, who are your pipe dream acts for the Super Gathering? I've pretty much already seen them. Now, you say pipe dreams, so I assume you want me to shoot really fucking crazy. I mean, really, honestly, though, when you just talking about my favorites, though, it's the people that they already have playing there all the time. Yellow Wolf, Ritz, Tech 9. Those are like Jaron Benton, Hobson, fucking Cottonmouth Kings in whatever form they are in year by year. So I mean, honestly, the people that they get to play there all the time are my favorites anyway. But if you're talking pipe dream, then uh, I would say Ice Cube, but I've already seen him there. And Snoop Dogg would certainly be on the list. Eminem, I would fucking love to see, but I still think after all these years, Eminem would get some stuff thrown at him. So, um, big. He says, Scruffy says, just go big. So, who else? Man, as far as comedians and stuff, I mean, if we're going pipe dream style, then like Dave Chappelle, that would be awesome. So I don't know. I don't really love a lot of huge megastars, honestly. Probably the biggest rappers that I like are all fucking old now and would play the gathering gladly anyway. So my pipe dreams aren't that crazy. So anyway, I think I'm going to wrap that up now before people get bored. Have about 15 people still in the stream. I don't know if I'm gonna I don't know if I'm going to keep this video up the way that it is or maybe trim it and release it as a podcast episode. Who knows? But I appreciate you tuning in live. And I'm not sure when the next live stream will be, but it will not be at this same time. That I can tell you. 99 times out of 100, I am at work at this time of night. This week was an anomaly, so I used it to do the stream. So the next one will not be on a Saturday night. Not sure which day yet. I'll definitely let you know. So, man, you know what? In this whole fucking hour-long live chat, not a single person asked me what I thought about Twisted on Rude Jude last week. And so I guess we're just not going to talk about it. And that's fine with me. So if I would have remembered, I would have brought it up myself. And I did not think about it until right now. And nobody else asked about it. So that means nobody else gives a shit. So until the next stream, I will catch you guys later. Peace. Thanks. Appreciate it. Whoop, whoop.